All right. We're gonna talk about this. But first, I'm gonna need you to hit subscribe. What's going on, YouTube? Vampyr Gaming here, and if you haven't heard the news,
You ain't heard the news? Breaking news, shocking news? What news?
the One Piece premium set, the premium booster, the best, is literally the best. They confirmed that there are 10. You heard that right, 10 manga cards that you can possibly pull in this set. Every single manga that you could dream of, you can pull in this set. And it's got a lot of people talking, a lot of disparity among the community. And so I just wanted to make a video, provide my insight. We're going to talk both about English and Japanese. These cards and how it might impact them, and kind of show some examples and kind of just talk about my thoughts and my theories around it, because we still don't know a lot about the English one. They're going to be there. The mangas are going to be there in the English card game for sure. However, how are they going to be distributed? And I'm going to kind of talk about this and some other things, and maybe it'll help make it make sense. I know I'm going to say some things that some people might not agree with, and that's okay. I can understand, especially if you're holding a bunch of these. I get it, but let's go ahead. We're going to take a brief overview at the sets from their pages on their websites. Then we're going to go look at some of the information that we've seen come out yesterday, and then we'll kind of dive in. So first up, of course, this is coming out next week in Japan. Some people already have their hands on it, of course, from the distros. And then, they can't help but mess around and find out. But so you can see, obviously, the big thing about this set is they've reprinted a ton of cards, and every single card has a full art version of it, and they have 3 different versions of every single card minimum. There's the regular version, there's a semi-foil, or I think it's called the special foil, and then you have these alt arts. Like these, and then you get the new Sanji leader, and there's a ton of Dawn. We got a sneak peek at what their pull rates look like. Somebody pulled a gold Dawn, and then we also see, I think it was 1 hit per box in terms of an alt, and then you get the supers, whatever. But not a ton of information, just because we haven't seen a ton. I'm sure as we see other people opening them, we're going to get a better idea. But again, this is just Japan. Historically, the US, which we'll look at here, so these booster boxes are 20 pack booster boxes at $5.49 a pack. So they're 20 count booster box, not 24. And what we saw with a side set, we saw 3 hit boxes on Extra Booster 01. So my theory, this is not fact at all. This is just my thoughts. We'll see a 4 hit if they make a Dawn hit per box. If not, I think it'll be a 3 hit. And these boxes, I mean, again, every card is an alt, or 60 cards. 60 cards have alts. Every card has a special rare of them, but 60 cards have new alts. So there are 60 alts that you can pull. A lot of these being rare cards. And you know how much rares usually go for? They go for they range from $1 with that Booger Bomb guy. And then you've got $5 with Kami. So you could get an absolute booty box. 100%. There's going to be some boxes that hurt feelings. But my theory is it's either 3 hit box or 4 hit box with 1 Dawn. One of the max rarity Dawn, because there's 30 max rarity Dawn available. Every single Dawn is available as a max rarity. But so that is kind of my theory. Again, we won't know for a very long time what hits look like for the English version, but I think that's what makes the most sense to me. It's either going to be a 3 hit, and you can maybe get a Dawn, or a 4, and again, I feel like it's really going to hurt a lot of people. But so yesterday, we saw this post right here from Sakura's Card Shop. I think they were the first person to break it. They're the first person on my timeline. But what we know is that these are here, and one of the big things, so they highlight these right here. So this is the anti-counterfeit, their security stamp, and then they added the star. This star already exists on OP05 and onward. When they added this anti-security, they went ahead and added this star as well. So they went ahead and updated it with the new printing type, which makes sense. It's technically a new set. All cards should match that. So legacy mangas, OP04, OP03, OP02, OP01, all will have that difference going for them. Now, I imagine this is consistent for the US, because technically they could do whatever they want with printing, but I imagine they're going to do the same steps that they do. I don't see a world where they would just not include the new counterfeit features on cards. So this is a big thing that took the internet by storm. You can see here again, like, you get to see this is straight up manga. You know, there's no special stamp, there's no PRB-01 that you can see, and we'll take a look at another one here. So here we get a nice close-up somebody posted. You can see Manga Sabo, Manga Ace, they've got those. We get a little bit closer, you can see they've got the stars. Again, this was added in OP05. And you can see here the anti-counterfeit. So this isn't like a PRB-01 stamp. This is straight up just the one-piece counterfeit technology. And then we see the confirmation here from Guan Rong Kook. Forgive me if I murdered that. But you can see here all the mangas. This is at the showcase in Malaysia Grand Asia Open. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with the Nami. So we should talk about the Nami. So if you think about it, even if this is one per case and they were seeded one every 10 cases, there's a 1 in 10 case that you would get this. This is theoretical, but there's a 1 in 10 cases that you'd get this Nami, which theoretically Nami is going to be the hardest manga to pull. And probably, like, arguably should be one of the most valuable, if you think about it that way. So that's one thing. But another thing here is, again, we don't know that there'll be one per case. If they are, again, huge game changer. Absolutely insane. It also means their cases are usually seated, which means all of the hits are in the same spot, which means you should not buy loose booster boxes if this is the case, because somebody could just take the manga box. So keep that in mind. I'm going to try to make it all make sense and keep this all here, but of course it is also just, there's a million thoughts, I'm sure, going through everyone's minds. But so there's that. And let's take a look. So let's see how it impacted Japan, because again, they're guaranteed one per case, and we'll take a look at like what their cases look like, because their booster boxes, again, if you're not familiar, are completely different than ours. They're way cheaper. A lot of people early on were selling booster boxes from Japan for like exorbitant prices by importing them, because they were just so much cheaper. Like, it was like, oh, PO1, here's a box for $80. Like, oh gosh, I would love an $80 booster box, and you get like 10 packs or something, and you're like, oh, okay. But it was like a regular booster box for like $250, $300. So it is what it is. Take a look at the card shop. This is somebody who's looking to sell them. All of a sudden they're trying to sell all their mangas, and then just a couple other nice cards. But it makes sense, you know, you want to cash those out. But here we got some examples of card shops. So BOA even affecting cards that aren't reprinted in the set, just because they know. And I'll talk on that just in a little bit here. Just have like a huge, like, just I think the biggest questions on people's mind. But you can see here, boom, instantly cut in half Trafalgar's, instantly cut in half Luffy's, boom, more than half on Ace. Same thing here on Eustace. Like, just huge cuts across the board. Huge cuts across the board. And then one more shop that kind of like put there, so you can kind of see even less than this shop. These stickers, though, I believe the yellow ones mean that they're damaged. So these are just, you know, a little bit less. But then you see Zoro here, a bit cheaper. They didn't have a Zoro, but this about $300-ish, I think, with conversion. But so now let's go ahead. You take a look here. Here's just one store. And then it was like, okay, so like these, and these again are inflated prices. This is like to import. Whereas, like, but then you see a case is $575. So cases there are even cheaper than this. I believe it's 10 boxes. So cases there are even cheaper. So you're going to be buying a case. Well, I'm sure they're going to raise the prices. But I think MSRP-ish on a case is around like $400 for them there. And so $400 you're guaranteed a manga. You see how that can impact that, because the mangas actually in Japan were up quite a bit, as you can see from these stickers. Like Ace was like $1,000, Luffy was like $4,000. Well, this is actually like $2,900, but very high up there. And now you can pull one per case. It's a huge game changer. And so let's go ahead. We're going to take a look and see if this has impacted the U.S. markets at all, as we can see here. So one thing actually I'm going to just highlight right here is OPO1. Again, OPO1, OPO2, OPO5 are restocked. Are restocked recently. And guess what? Boom. Oh, wow. Restock hit right here. So it does, of course, impact the prices. But these boxes aren't very expensive. But again, you're not guaranteed one per case. And in the English version, we still don't know if there's going to be one per case. But you can kind of see here, sales have never really been popular because these cards are, of course, expensive. It is 100% a collector's card or a big rich person card. You know, I do own a Manga Ace, and I did buy a Manga Sabo. I paid $500 for my Sabo. We do see Sabo go down a little bit here today. In light of the news, you know, you can see here there was about 5. It's slightly played, but 470. So not a big change here. But again, they're still like, these don't sell every day. A lot of people, these sit, you know, people collect them, and people really are only buying these to add to their collection. And you can kind of see, let's see, if anyone was going to move, I imagine it would have been Usopp. Usopp's still around the same, or my bad, Soga King. I don't know who Usopp is, but you can see that. You can see that, you know, not a lot of these have moved much. Again, like the OPO1 restock, you know, you see not a lot of sales here either. There's like one big one, and they've just been kind of sitting here as people have opened their mangas from the OPO1 restocks. And so they do have that difference. The reprints, I looked around, as far as I can tell, the OPO1 box prints, they kept it the same, which again makes sense because it's an older set and they just run the old print files. And so I haven't seen any of these with the security feature, because I did just double check to see if maybe they added it on to the reprints, but they did not. So they kept those the same. And then let's go ahead and kind of, this is just going to be like a huge Q&A, I think, type deal with just the questions in my mind. And then we kind of already covered this, but does this devalue Japanese mangas? 1 billion%. As we've seen, it's because allegedly cases are one manga per case, and then cases are also different. So like, again, on a bad day they're like $500, and then you're paying $500 for manga plus other cards. And so yeah, you can get Soga King, but a majority of those are like worth more than $500. And so it just becomes instant value. And then, so what does this mean for English manga? So again, like, you know, we took a look here. It depends. If it's one per case, it devalues them greatly. Japan has never had one per case. And we also have not. So them doing that can set a precedent. But they also have God Packs, which we don't have. We ended up with Treasure Rare. So it's quite possible we don't see one per case. And then the long answer, if they're one per case, we're cooked to an extent. So if it's one per case, you got to think about it. Again, it's one, there's 10 mangas. So you add in the supply from 1 every 10. So you're adding 1 manga for every 10 cases, assuming they're printed evenly. If we just assume they're printed evenly, 1 manga per every 10 cases is added to the supply, with OPO1 and OPO4, all through those being different. That's not a great pull rate. That's every 1,200 boxes. Sorry. Every 120 boxes, you're adding in 1 manga of each, which is a lot of boxes. It's a lot of product. Now, it's more supply. As supply goes up, prices go down. These don't move every single day, so they will go down. They will. But it also creates a little bit more value to those older sets that have that difference. But keep in mind, it's the same thing. So it's the same thing. They just reprinted OPO1. It's not that different, in my opinion. I'll talk about that a little bit more in just a second. But do I think, you know, is it going to impact prices? Yes. Is it going to impact them greatly? Probably not. I mean, people aren't even buying them as it is. They have the difference for OP01 through OP04. OP05 just got restocked. OP06 is getting restocked as we speak as well. The booster boxes are like $100. It's been a long time since we've seen a $100 booster box that wasn't EB01. So, like, they're doing a great job, and this is truthfully, in my opinion, just like a healthy set. But let's go ahead. Is it so bad? Is it so bad? I'm going to say things you might not be aligned with, and that's okay. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But again, if we break it down into the ratio, the way in which they're added is so much less than the regular booster boxes that they are already reprinting. I know for sure Shanks is not 1 in every 10 cases. I know for sure he's not. And assuming they print them evenly, they might not. They might have their own thing, and they might add rarity to that in itself to create chase. Who knows? We might not ever. But, you know, maybe somebody opens a ton of them and figures out some ratios. But assuming 1 through 10, 1 out of 10 chance of each, every 10 cases, one's added to the supply. It doesn't hurt it that much. And so, you know, it's truly like it's a reprint. They just reprinted OP01. People weren't super upset from what I can tell. They just reprinted OP05. It brought the booster boxes down a ton. The booster boxes are like $140. They were $200, $300 forever. They're $140. You can buy OP05 for $140, and you can pull a Manga Luffy, and your odds are probably better than PRB-01, than the premium booster. And so, you know, it's the same card. It's the same card. It's the same cardboard. It's the same everything except for OP01 through OP04. But like everything else, I mean, it's still like it's indistinguishable for OP05 and onward. Like, but it's the same cardboard. It's the same thing. They restocked it. That restock is printed on the exact same thing as this set's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's literally the same card. It's just a matter of where you get it. And one thing is Tops, and it's a bit different because they do like buybacks and they put older product in new like hobby product. I'm a slight sports guy. I don't understand a lot of that product because like I'm priced out of it. It's just very expensive to get some of the sealed that they release. But if you're a better sports card guy and can speak more to that, definitely drop it in the comments below. But I do know like Tops does like buybacks for like old stuff. They buy it, then they re-add it back into newer stuff as like chase cards. And it's really not much different than that other than Bandai's not buying it from us. But they literally just reprinted that same Manga Luffy just now, like in these booster boxes that people are opening. And the one that they put in, that PRB-01, is the exact same. Same cardboard, same everything. Why does it change anything? It's arguably harder to pull. OP05 does have 3 mangas, so it's probably similar ratios, because it's probably like 1 per 3, so it's like 1 in 9. But anyways, it's the same, you know. And then OP01 through OP04 does have a difference, which is slightly rewarding to like early adopters, if you would. But yeah, I don't think it changes that much. In Japan, again, like 1 per case is a big deal because their cases are a lot cheaper. And so, like, and their prices were very high. A lot of their manga prices were actually higher than our prices here, which kind of shocked me because ours were forever more expensive than theirs. But I don't know what their stock situation was, but we've always had supply issues. So they were always continually trying to add more supply. And we have a lot of these Bandai stores that continually get stock. And just, I guess, the American consumer consumes a lot. Just basing off of what I know from here. But let me know what you think. Are you buying a case of PRB-01? And what do you think about the manga reprints? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you found this content of value, if you could do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. It helps me out a ton. And thank you so much for watching.